So let's see. I think we go here. And it's here. And you can see what's there. Right? Yes, except it needs to go a little that for Destiny.
Gotcha.
Yeah, perfect. Then I can, we can stick together.
All right, how's that look, guys? I think that looks good from what I can see.
Is it good?
Light's kind of blinding me too. Let's see, let's move it a little bit. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to add this to okay. I'm not going to do these today. I guess I am going to do this. You add with the mini reading? Yeah. So what I did was I said, if anybody buys a mini reading during the show, then they can win 2 free tickets to the event.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I like that. So that's good. I keep wanting to move this. And it's that. And this is, it's fine. So just we're talking to that one.
Okay.
All right. So, hi, Jester Court. Thanks for joining. We'll just give it a few minutes because we were on here a little bit earlier doing some test things, but we'll just give it a few minutes because it's not 12:30. Oh, it is 12:30 right now. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so we'll announce the winner of the 2 free tickets probably Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday. Yeah, we'll give it some time to work on here.
So you're gonna do some are you doing more of these and doing more mini readings and taking more like entries, or
We're gonna do
just
that.
today?
We're gonna do some mini readings and take more entries.
Okay.
And then if they buy your book, they're entered into
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Cool.
yeah. So you guys, hello.
Hi.
This is my friend Destiny.
Hi, everybody.
She's back again. Destiny Burns.
Destiny Renee.
Destiny Renee Burns. Yes, we have the same middle name.
Yeah, we just figured that
out. Twinsies. We're twinsing. But we're here today with Destiny. Thanks for joining us, you guys. And we are. I'm learning how to use manage mode, which is really cool. That is a new feature on Jatango where you can see who's viewing and you can see the chat, and they're just coming up with all kinds of really great technology to really help people. Yeah, it's really wonderful. So we're just going to keep taking a peek and see who's here. Give people a couple. We already tried this twice already this morning because I'm sorry. Yes, because we were testing out and I wanted to see how things worked and stuff. So, yeah, but today my guest is Destiny Burns, my friend, and she is the owner of CLE Urban Winery in Cleveland Heights, which is a great place to visit, a great place to have a party. We were just talking about that too.
Yes.
It's wonderful. It's so pretty there, and everything is so nice. The wine is so good, and you have the best bartender in the whole world. So, if you want to book an event, you can visit CLE Urban Winery. It's just .com.
Right? .com. Yeah. CLEurbanwinery.com.
Yep. You can visit and you can talk to Destiny about doing that. I've had a couple events there already, and they've been wildly successful. Super good feedback from the people who are there. But today she's joining us because we are going to be, she's also an author. She's done so many things, and we're talking about her book today. So if you want to introduce your book, Destiny.
Here it is. So this book is called My Why and I, A Rebel's Guide to a Why-Centered Lifestyle. So it's my premise in this book that choosing to live your life according to your core values and your why is a lifestyle choice. And it's a choice we make every day to stay aligned with those two things. So in this book, it's part memoir. It talks about how I've been living a why-centered lifestyle since I was in my teens, and I'm in my 60s now. And it has part of the process that I've come up with, a 6-step process to help you align and live your life according to your why and your core values. And then it also is part workbook. So it has a lot of writing prompts and tools and other kind of things that you can use to follow my process and to live a why-centered lifestyle with yourself.
I am most curious. I love this. I love this. As a little kid, I would always ask why everything. I used to drive people crazy. And I still do as an adult, but I think that's a good thing. I think,
Curiosity.
yeah,
About
curiosity.
your surroundings.
And if you stop learning, then you stop living, really.
True.
So the curiosity in there, my why. And why do you call it a rebel's guide? Why is it a rebel?
Well, I have this premise about, I call myself the rebel queen of reinvention because I have reinvented my life and realigned my life over 10 times since my teens to live that lifestyle of living according to who I am, my core values, and my why, what I'm passionate about. And I talk about other rebel queens in a rebel king, actually, in history as I talk about what that concept's all about. Like, for example, Julia Child. Julia Child is someone who was so unconventional, but completely lived her life according to who she was. She made no apologies about it and her why and what she was passionate about. You know, from her days as working as a CIA secretary in the Far East to becoming the queen of French cuisine on PBS. You know, like that journey that she took and those choices that she made to live her life authentically, who she was and what she cared about. Joan Jett is another example of somebody I'd call the rebel queen of rock and roll. You know, she was told, no, women can't front a rock band. Women can't, run a record label. But she's like, oh yeah, yes, we can. And she did. And, she's brought so many other women with her as she's lived her life so authentically of who she is and her passion and what she's passionate about. So I have a bunch of examples of that rebel queen. And there's a story in here about a rebel king too, that is a local guy who is just fascinating and tell his story that he told me in his 80s about the life he had lived, in that same vein.
I love that. And part of storytelling too, like we're missing so much of that these days, when you sit down with your grandparents and you hear their stories about how they came to the country and their trials and tribulations and how they overcome. I love that you've included that in this. It appeals to me.
There's a lot of stories in this because I think stories are a good way to illustrate the point and to illustrate the impact and to illustrate the process as well.
Yeah. And it's interesting because in my work with doing readings and psychic fairs and things like that, I do have a lot of people who come to me and they ask me, like I do a soul purpose reading, and what's your soul's purpose? And they'll come to me and they'll want that reading, and I can tell them, but they're only with me for a short period of time.
Right.
And they're hearing what I have to say. But I love this because this helps them really excavate a plan on how to bring that to life.
Right. I mean, there's a difference between your core values and your why, and they're very distinctly different, and they're two very distinct pillars of this whole concept. Because your core values are who you are, and that's not going to change.
Right.
From the time you're formed in your younger years through your parents and influences and things like that, those things that make you you. Mm-hmm. And identifying and excavating those and quantifying them and writing them down so that they're crystallized so that you can communicate them to yourself and also to others. That's kind of like a compass. The base of the compass is true north. It's never going to change. But your why, your passions, that will change. Yeah, over time. Like as you have new experiences, as you meet new people, as you go to new places, as you have new, that's going to change and evolve as you change and evolve as a person. Your core values are the same, but that needle on the compass that guides you where to go is going to move based on what you care about and what you're passionate about and what you want to do with your life and what kind of impact you want to make. So following that needle, though, is the key to making it a lifestyle, making that deliberate choice to do it. Because so many people don't.
Yeah.
You know, they know what they care about, they know what they're passionate about, but it's so hard and there's so much fear
Yes.
involved in making the changes necessary, even small ones, to remain aligned to that. So the first step in my process here is to know your core values. And there's a whole exercise that helps you kind of excavate those and quantify them and write them down into little sound bites that you can communicate. And then the second is to define your why. And there's another whole series of prompts and things to elicit to help you figure that out, to define your why statement. So you can say exactly what it is. At this point in my life, my why statement is all about impact, making an impact every single day, whether it's small or big, and adventure. I'm having an adventure right now. You know, I need little pops of adventure in my life to be a happy person. So I know I need those two things at this stage of my life. And then the next step, once you've done all that internal, difficult, hard work to pull all that out and to get it down on paper, there's something powerful about that, about being able to have a short statement that you can say out loud to someone and to yourself and memorize that and live that and internalize it. I think there's great power in that. But once you have that fear comes up, like, oh, now I have to do something about it because I recognize that I'm out of alignment with that. Yeah. So fighting fear with facts is step 3 of the process. Because for me, that's what I always do. If I'm afraid of something, learning more about it, getting the facts about it, you know, figuring out, you know, doing my research, doing my homework, being armed with those facts so that it doesn't eliminate my fear, but it helps me put it in its right place, in its right perspective. And that fear can, instead of being a roadblock or hindrance, it can become fuel instead. You know, so that fighting fear with facts is really an important part of the process to get you from that stage of knowing who you are and what you want to getting on the road to getting there, being able to remove that fearfulness about making that step.
Yeah, and I have a card here, some cards here that really address that. So for anybody watching today, here's a little message for you regarding the fear. Yeah, and Afonso, hello. Thanks, Stephen. He said that we're looking good online, so that's good. We
had some problems last time.
Yes, yeah, it's okay. And Tango's been amazing at helping me figure this out. So here is a little message for you if you're in that place where you're wanting a new start, but you're having a little bit of fear about beginning, or you don't really know where to begin. You can begin with Destiny's book, but trust that still small voice that says this might work and I'll try it. And this is a great, this is a great way to do that, to give you a foundation and a roadmap to actually getting to where you want to go and figuring out where you want to go.
Yeah, I have some tools and some other things in the book that help you work through your fear. There's one tool that I created, I call it a fear fable. So it's basically just writing out what are you afraid of and writing out a story about what happens if my fears are realized, or what happens if they don't come to light, you know, and just kind of write out that whole scenario and tell that story to yourself. Like, what happens if everything goes right?
Yeah.
You know, and the thing I'm afraid of doesn't happen, or it's not as impactful as I thought, you know, once I get there, and just write the story out and then read it to yourself and kind of internalize that. And I use those techniques in my own life several times. And I tell a story in the book about a time when I was, I'm a 20-year Navy veteran. And when I was in boot camp, when I was 18 years old, I used the fear fable technique to write a story about a very scary training evolution I had coming up. And I was really nervous about it. And I just wrote through it in my head about what happens if everything goes right and we all work together and it's fine, you know, and that got me through.
Yeah, well, there's something, like you said, so powerful about writing it down, like visualizing it, writing it down, because when you visualize it in your head, that's great. That's the beginning part of manifestation. But to actually write it down, now you've brought it into the 3D and it's here and it's a solid thing.
And you can refer back to it too.
Yes. Yeah. And make changes, right? I think part of being an adult is learning the art of the pivot, you know, and just,
especially in this day and age.
Yeah,
absolutely. You got to be ready to pivot at any moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Jesse. Thanks for coming on. I did want to say one of the things that you mentioned, one of the words that you mentioned just really stuck out for me, and it's authenticity. I was watching something today that said authenticity is actually a higher frequency than love. Is that interesting? It's authenticity, where you are really being your true self. And I think so many times today, there's so many people on the internet, so many influencers, that a lot of people try to imitate them instead of actually doing their own thing.
Mhm.
And so
And at some level, it's false. At
it's
some level,
false.
it's never going to be as great as it could be if it's just authentic.
100%.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to be somebody else or trying to do exactly what somebody else does, even if you take their idea and you change it a little bit, come up with your own ideas. There's a bazillion ideas in this world. Be you. Stop trying to be someone else. And that's the highest frequency, right? That has been.
And it actually takes the least amount of work. Because when
Yeah.
you're trying to put on something, when you're trying to act counter to where your natural instincts, your natural passions are leading you, and you try to act in counter to that,
Yeah.
or deliberately avoid doing that, I think it actually takes more energy to do that than just going with that flow where the universe is taking you.
Yeah, absolutely. But to figure out where the universe is taking you, this is a great way to do that, I feel, because that is one thing that's a pet peeve of mine, somebody trying to imitate somebody else. I don't know why they say that imitation is the highest form of flattery. I think it's the highest form of self-deception.
Yeah, it's cowardice.
It's
at some level.
cowardice.
Yeah.
100%. Do your thing and stop trying to do somebody else's thing. That, we need what you specifically have to offer, and somebody else has already taken that offering. So don't do that. Do your own thing.
Yeah, when I don't know what to do or where to go, I kind of look at my why as kind of, sometimes it's like a mirage in the distance. Like, I don't necessarily know where it's leading me or what it wants me to do, but I can kind of see the outline of it. I can feel the vibrations of it. I can kind of see it out there. It's not fully formed yet, but I can see it's in that direction. So I'm going to take my steps toward it in that direction rather than going that way.
Yeah.
I'm moving toward it with intention, so that as I get closer, as I learn more, as I explore more, it's going to reveal itself more fully to me over time. I've found that's a real good strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody should have your book. Well, if you are interested in purchasing this book, a couple really exciting things to know today. And Jesse, I'm so happy that you're here with us too. And Dream Chaser, thank you so much for joining. If you're interested in Destiny's book, you can find it listed at the bottom of the screen as a product that we have offered today. It is, let me scroll to it. Where is it?
On the bottom.
It's $25. And when you purchase that book, you will be entered into a drawing to win 2 free tickets to the Halloween Seance in the Cellar that we're having together
At the winery.
at the winery
on Halloween.
31st. Woohoo! It's going to be so fun. And if you can't attend that live and you are the winner, then you will get a 30-minute free reading over Zoom. So it isn't even like you have to truly be here. You can purchase this book. You could be anywhere in the world. To purchase Destiny's book, if you are watching on Facebook, down at the bottom left of your screen, you'll see a little icon that looks like a chain link. You'll want to touch that, and it will take you to Jatango. You're going to put in an email and password, and it'll take you to this product. You add it to your cart, and then make sure that you check out on Jatango. Also, be sure that you follow Come Home to Your Heart, because then you'll get notified when we go live. And Destiny will get the information of your name, your
Where to
address,
ship it,
where to
all that.
ship it.
And I will autograph it also.
Oh yeah, that's a great reason to buy. If you're going to be in the area or you're coming to the Seance in the Cellar, you can purchase it on Jatango, and then when you're checking out, just click local pickup, and we'll get notified that you said local pickup too, and then we'll have it at the winery for you. So that's a great excuse to go visit the winery. It's CLE Urban Winery in Cleveland Heights.
Right. On Lee Road, just south of Cedar.
Yeah, great, artistic, fun place to go, amazing wine. But yeah, so if you want Destiny's book, that's how you would get it during the show. If you buy it from the link to this show, you will get entered into that drawing to win 2 free tickets. Also, if you're interested in coming to the show, down at the bottom of your screen, if you're on Jitango, or if you're on Facebook, again, you would follow that little link that's at the bottom left corner of your screen. You touch on that, it'll take you to Jitango. You put your name and password in, and you can buy a ticket to the event.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you will not get a ticket. Click local pickup, so there will not be a shipping charge on that. We will have your name at the door. So you will not get a physical ticket, but we will get notified that you purchased that, and come, when you come to the door, your name will be there, and you come on in. Can we talk for a minute about that?
Yeah, let's talk about it. So the doors are going to be at 7 o'clock. It is a private event, so it's only for ticketed holders. And we are going to have a Halloween costume contest as well. So come in your costumes. It is Halloween night. We'll have some door prizes. Michelle can talk about those. And we are going to have just a communal seance. It's going to be all decked out for Halloween. I'm going to do all candles.
Ooh,
I have a whole plan.
love it.
It's going to be very, very kind of spooky vibes, but it'll be really fun. Michelle, it's been at least a year or so that we've been doing a monthly seance in the cellar on the last Friday of every month.
Yes.
And this is kind of like a big Halloween upgrade to it. So kind of like in my head is kind of like Long Island medium style,
Yeah.
Audience, kind of type of a thing. And I'm hoping it'll be well attended. It'll be a ton of fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be so much fun. The veil is very thin when it comes to Halloween, which makes it a lot easier to get messages. It is going to be a group style message, but for people who have been to the seance in the cellar before, you already know it's very easy to get your own message.
Yeah, it's very personal, even though it's a group. People have come out of those sessions just like having had a very personal experience within the group.
Yeah. It brings a lot of healing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're saying it's Halloween, it's like spooky time. It's fun. And the seance and the cellar event I'm always focused on messages of love, healing, forgiveness, encouragement, just, energy that wants to say hello to you. So it'd be great for you guys to come. And I'm super excited about it. We're going to have so much fun. The door prizes.
Ooh, tell.
Yeah.
Spell.
So we're going to have a raffle for a free reading with me. And we're also going to have a raffle for a brand new tarot deck that I picked specifically for this occasion.
Nice.
So that's going to be super fun.
And I think the prize for the costume contest would be you can choose a bottle of wine to take.
Oh, come for that. Come even if you just come for that, because her wine is amazing.
Yeah, and we do have more than wine at the winery.
Yes.
Now we do make the wine on site. We are a working winery and tasting room, kind of like a craft brewery in style and operation if you have not been there, but we just make wine instead of beer. But I try to run the business like it's a community center that makes wine. So this kind of community gathering is like the perfect use of the space. We do have a full bar. We have spirits and beer and the wine that we make. And then we do a lot of non-alcoholic options. We have non-alcoholic spirits, beer, cider, wines. We have soft drinks. So we have something literally for everybody. We have a little bit of food. We have a small food menu as well, some wine-friendly things like dips and sandwiches and cheese boards. But you're welcome to bring food in to my place as well. So if you want to grab a pizza from Dewey's Pizza, which is right next door, bring it over. I'm totally cool with that. So it is just a fun place to come hang out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like, remember how we were so excited for Halloween when we were kids. So instead of candy, you get to have a cool glass of wine or a great mocktail and some good food and friends.
And if you want to like skip trick or treat and just come do something for yourself as an adult, you can turn the light out. You don't have to be there handing out candy. You can come to my place instead and we can have this nice communal Halloween experience.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this. It's going to be so much fun. So let me pull another card while we're sitting here talking. I'm so happy that you could join me today, Dustin.
Me too.
Yeah, it's so fun. I think the rebel part of your book too is and the why is another part of why we get along so well.
I think so too. Yeah. Well, it's a rebellious thing to say, I am going to live my life according to who I am and what I care about. And, I'm going to make that choice every single day. It is a lifestyle choice. I truly believe that in doing that because it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all.
I'm gonna say, and this is so funny, the first card is a 7 of Cups, which means you have lots of choices. And Destiny's Book can help you determine what choice is the best for you or what choice is the best for you right now. Get a couple books because maybe you'll use it again in another 5 years, you know? I very much like you have gone through periods in my life where my whole friend group has changed.
Mhm.
You know, my location has changed, my situation has changed. My kids were small, then they went to school, now they're out of the house.
Mhm.
You know, and my interests have changed. And it's constantly, you know, at the end of your life, you're not going to be on your deathbed thinking, well,
I wish
did
it would have worked more.
yeah, no, you're not saying that. Nobody says that.
Should have done the dishes.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, nobody says that. I can tell you for sure because I'm checking upstairs and they're all saying
I should
no.
have folded the laundry.
Yeah, right. You're not. Let's not say we did. But and there's a time and a place for that, but living your authentic life. And you know, I'm thinking about that thing that I watched about saying that authenticity is a higher frequency than love. I'm going to actually rephrase that because that is what this person said, but I'm going to say authenticity has got to be the highest version of love, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll buy that.
And it's honoring yourself. It's honoring how you feel, how you think.
And how you're trusting in others to show that.
Yes.
Because it does take a level of trust to really show yourself authentically.
And so tell me, let's talk a little bit about that. So when you show yourself authentically, like at least in my experience, sometimes I've just found that I do not resonate with certain people anymore and they just kind of go out of my life. Is that what's your
That's
experience?
not a bad thing.
It's not a bad
I mean,
thing.
it takes more energy, like we just said this a little while ago, to live inauthentically. So I found like the older that I've gotten, you know, that you know, the less fucks you give, the older you get. I mean, that is totally true. But I think it just takes, I have less patience for that.
Mhm.
As I know there's more days behind me than in front of me, just by math, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, I really, those days are more precious to me, I think. And that time is more precious because I know I have less of it than I did when I was younger. And I don't want to waste it. I don't want to have someone co-opt it, or I don't want to use it in a way that is going to, you know, not give me the full benefit of that time. I think the older you get, the more you appreciate that. Just in general.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
And my perspective has changed on that quite a bit. Where when I like then that phase where we have our kids and we're running around and we got sports and we got this and we got that and we got dinner and and that the time just kind of gets away from you, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just gone.
Yeah.
You know, now my kids grown, I have a small business and that's like a toddler, you know, really in my life, busting things apart all the time. But I am more aware of that time now,
Yeah.
you know, than I
It's-
ever was, and it's much more precious to me. So I just don't let people mess with it like I used to, or I don't waste time trying to make something up or please somebody when it just doesn't serve me anymore. And I allow that to be a reason not to do it. It doesn't serve, so I don't do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That used to not be a reason. If it served somebody else or whatever, I would do it.
Yeah.
But now it's like, it doesn't serve me. Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. I found as I've gotten older that and maybe even I've always had this to some degree, but it's quality, not quantity.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I want to
Exactly.
be around quality people, and that means being my quality self.
Mhm.
And
Well, you can't attract that if you're putting out something false. If you're putting
Right.
out something false, you're going to attract something that's not for you.
absolutely. And then when you see somebody that's doing that, that's in your
Oh.
group, you're gonna
You can see it.
you
People
can see it.
that.
Yeah. And then it's time to go. But in talking about this, like, and I think some people might be afraid of that too. Like, oh, if I do this, everybody's going to think I'm crazy, or I'm going to lose my friend group, or my family is going to think I'm nuts. And, you know, it's, you know, maybe they'll have that idea for a little while, but if you're being authentic to yourself, they'll come around.
Mhm.
You know, I really feel like they'll come around. And this is,
Especially once they see the benefit, once they see the impact of it on you and on those around you.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the Six of Pentacles. This is equal give and take. So as you become your authentic self, you're going to find people that resonate more with you, and the people who don't resonate with you are just going to fall away. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's
And that's okay.
that's okay.
That's okay.
I know. I've talked to so many people who say my friend group has totally changed. I think that's interesting because that's my whole life.
But I mean, if you look at it, you can look at that like it's two sides of a coin. They're falling away, or space has been opened up for new things to come in.
100%.
So there's got to be a card about that.
Yeah, there is actually. Well, and this is the Queen of Wands.
There
She
we go.
affects change. She affects change. Time to take action and change things. If you're living authentically, then that's what you're going to attract. I think it's when you're living inauthentically that you attract, it because you attract,
The wrong thing.
a lot of things that aren't fabulous, and maybe they look great in the beginning, but that all that glitters is not gold,
Right.
Um,
Like there was a time like I told you this is like a memoir too. It talks about
Yeah.
my 10 reinventions through my life from my teen years to my 50s. And there was a time in my life that I was really being guided more by what than why. And as I look back on it now, I can see that I was really miserable during that time.
yeah.
When I retired from the military after 20 years of service in the U.S. Navy, and I went to work in the defense industry. And I was a high-powered defense executive, business development, made a ton of money, a lot of pressure, but it was really about the money. And that's why I was doing it. I was supporting my now ex-husband, my daughter through college, and it was just like I was the breadwinner, and I had that pressure on me, and I was being driven by what and not why, and I was so unhappy. And now I'm an entrepreneur, and I make no money for myself, but
But that's not true. Wait, you just said it's the first time that business has been.
Well, I mean, my business is doing okay, but I mean, I don't make the kind of money I used to make by any stretch of the imagination at all. But I am so much happier
Yeah.
because I'm living a life that is defined by purpose and not by money. Because money is a what, not a why.
And that's the truth. When somebody is motivated by money, and I've said this for a very long time, so I'm in agreement with you too. If somebody's motivated by money, it's almost destined to fail because there's a fear element involved in that too, or a greed element involved in that too. And it's
You do things you wouldn't necessarily do.
Yeah.
You make compromises. So when it's about a what, and that could be money, that could be fame, that could be, there's so many things it could be.
So many things, yeah.
But those are what's and not whys. And in here, I kind of talk about that difference and how it felt when I was off track and how much better it felt and how much better my life became after I realigned to a why.
I'm with you on that. I think if you're with your why am I doing this? You're constantly reminding yourself. It's such a good motivation to keep on going, even when the going gets tough. If it's something you've always wanted to do.
Especially when the going gets tough.
Yeah.
Because that feels like that. Right now, I told you impact and adventure are really the kind of two halves of my why right now. And even if I could make a small impact on somebody every day, just a conversation I'm having over the bar. I'm also a adjunct professor at Baldwin Wallace. I teach innovation and entrepreneurship, and seeing a light bulb come on over a student's head about that entrepreneurial mindset and how they can apply it in their lives, a small impact like that. Or, a big impact, like having a big fundraiser at the winery and having something be really successful, or having people really make a really strong connection somehow, or having a wedding at the winery and the joy that it brings. Those kind of impacts, it could be small, it could be big, but if I can do that every day, it fills my cup. Even though small business ownership is really tough and it takes from me, I've built that opportunity for my why to refill my cup every day through the interactions that I choose to make.
Yeah. And when you're operating from your why, it brings you joy, no matter if it's profitable in that moment, or maybe it's not so profitable in that moment. It
fills my cup, and that's
you
profit
up.
too.
Yeah. There's your value.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this card is about. The Knight of Pentacles. He's moving forward slowly but surely. And here are these things that he values. He's got the pentacles. These are things that you value. A lot of people read this as money, but there are things that you could value: integrity, joy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Things that you value, community. I know that's a big value of yours too.
Well, that's my number one core value, is make a connection, to build community. That's what I'm all about. My second is to achieve every day. I'm always looking to do something, to have some kind of impact, to perform some kind of service, whatever it is, to achieve something every day. The next is to build the future. I'm always looking 3 steps ahead. I'm always looking at that mirage in the distance about where do I need to be going next, and planting seeds today so I can sit under that tree tomorrow, kind of thing. The next one is to be positive. So I find I am most myself when I have a positive frame of mind.
Yes.
And when I'm getting off track and I'm being negative, I can feel it. I know I'm not living to my core value of being positive. And then the last is to deliver, accountability, and doing what you say you're going to do.
Mhm.
So I just described who I am and what I need in my life to you in literally in 10 seconds. That's the power of these tools and this process and this book, is it helps you be able to do that. And those core values, I remind myself, I live by those. I know when I'm getting off track from those because I've defined them so crisply and cleanly that I can just say them.
Yeah.
But they also are the core values of my business. So even though I am immersed in my business every single day, but I operate my business based on those core values, I hire employees who also align with those core values, so that I build an environment for myself. And maybe there's a card related to that, is you have to create that lifestyle and that environment for yourself where you can be that person, that authentic person every single day. And I deliberately built that for myself.
Yeah. So you've ensured at the end of your
Ensured
life, you've ensured that even now and moving forward at the end of your life, you're also open to change.
That's where the life is going to take me and what I do and how I do, and as those things change, but those core values of how I can be my authentic self because I've created that environment for myself to operate in.
Yeah.
And those, you're talking about who you bring to you and the people and the environment that you create, it allows those things to be authentically accessed.
Yeah. And at the end of your life, you're going to look at your life and you're going to say, wow, I did, like that Frank Sinatra song, I did it my way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Do it your way. And you're not going to be on your deathbed thinking, oh, I pleased everybody. So my life was, no, that is not going to happen either. And this card, Page of Wands, start something new. Start something new. You can do it. And especially with Destiny's book, that'll help you have a roadmap. And that gives you a sense of security. And look, 7 of Pentacles. I was thinking about this card while you were talking. What you plant is what is going to grow. The seed you plant is what you're going to grow. So if you plant a seed of self-deception, that's the plant you get. When you plant the seed of authenticity, that's the plant you get. When you plant all these seeds of this is why, these are the plants that you're going to grow. And then you're happy with your garden, because it's what you wanted. But if you're planting a seed of fear, or you're planting the seed of what, for instance, I need to do it because I'm desperate, because I got fired from my job and I don't have money.
I just need money.
Yeah.
And
so it's like somebody like grabbing at anything they can to stay afloat. That's not really going to help you. That's not really going to help you. So remember, what you plant, the seeds you plant, is the plant you're going to grow. So just have discernment with the seeds that you're planting.
It's a very powerful statement. Now, the 4th step of the process here in the book is to make a plan. So once you've defined who you are and what you are passionate about, once you've kind of put your fear in its proper place and you're ready to go, you've got to have a plan.
Yeah.
Designing this garden and what you're going to plant in it and how it's going to go and how you're going to tend it. You have to have a plan, because these kind of changes, whether they're small or big, these realignments don't just happen by some kind of magical, intervention or something. You have to make a deliberate effort to do it. And in this book, it talks about the tools that I've used, the planning that I've done. And I'm a kind of a type A, probably noticed, rigid kind of person when it comes to that kind of stuff. So there's like project management tools that I've used, things like Gantt charts and Kanban boards and other kind of tools that really help me organize my thoughts and keep me on track. So there's a whole like outline of a plan in there about how you can do it, an action item list, because if you're not doing something every day that moves you closer to that change or closer to that goal, then you're not living. So having a plan and putting it on paper, again, the power of the paper, putting it on paper, and then holding yourself accountable to it, and bringing others into it that you need to help you make these changes or move these things along. Others are going to be a big part of that. Could be a very big part of that as you execute your plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And it depends on
Depends on what it is.
It depends on what it is. And when you're authentic with yourself, authentic to yourself, you're going to draw people who are authentic also. So you're not going to have to worry so much about people dropping out or not being who
And if
you
they
think
do,
they
they
are
were meant to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of like writing this book is an example of that. So my why that led me to become an entrepreneur and come back to my hometown and do what I'm doing was still very much intact. But I was asked to give a keynote address back in end of 2021 for a women's organization here in Cleveland, and they asked me to fill 90 minutes, and that's a long time to be up on stage. So I had to and they wanted to talk about my entrepreneurial journey. So I went all the way back to my teenage years and looked at my life in this retrospect. And as I did that, the outline of this book became clear. I realized that I had been doing this over and over and over again in my life, this reinvention, this process of realignment, and had been following this process. And it just kind of revealed itself in my keynote address. And I just felt my why was telling me, you got to write this down. You got to share this with the world. I didn't have time to write a book. I didn't know how to write a book. Mm-hmm. I had no idea how to manifest this into reality. But I just knew I needed to do it. It was just, I was listening to my why. And that's like the final step of my process, is to listen to your why. When it shifts, when it changes, when it tells you you're missing something, you need to do something, do it. It's for you. You need to do it. I keep making this symbol because I kind of view my why in my mind's eye as like a little amulet around my neck. It's like a little heart-shaped amulet. It sits right here at my throat, and I can grasp it. I can hear it, and I listen to it, and it speaks to me. And I have this open channel to it. And sometimes it's just a little thing. Sometimes it's a big thing. Mm-hmm. But writing this book was one of those things. It's like, yeah, you've got to do this. So I did. I fit it into my schedule. I figured it out. It took me about a year, and I don't know where this book's going to go and what it's going to do and what I'm going to ultimately do with it. But I wanted it in the world.
Yeah.
If it can help one person to realize that, to be their own rebel queen or king, and to live that authentic life, that lifestyle choice of living according to who you are and what you care about every day, then it was worth it.
And you did it. Mm-hmm. There it is.
It's willed into reality.
Yeah. And it does take some work.
Yeah, I had to have a plan.
Have action involved too.
I had to have a plan.
And the plan keeps you from running in circles. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So as you were talking, I drew some wisdom cards. So here's some wisdom, and it really just is echoing what you say. The first one is be humble. And this is first quarter moon in Leo, to be humble. Realize that you don't know everything, and that's okay. If you think you know everything, you have nothing more to learn. You've kind of stopped your life.
So I didn't have a clue how to write a book.
Right.
I never wrote a book before.
Yeah, and that's okay. I think it's okay.
But I just did it. I just tried it.
Yep. Believe in your good luck. First quarter moon in Sagittarius. I think that's part of it too. I think when you go through Destiny's book, I feel like it helps people really get clear on their belief system. Mm-hmm. Really get clear on what you're planting, what seeds do you want to plant. It's almost like the visualization I have is like having a whole tray full of seeds in front of you, and you're picking and choosing what you want that you're creating to look like. Mm-hmm. Full moon in Taurus, detoxify. As you go about doing this,
shed stuff.
You might shed, your mindset. You might shed some habits.
A job.
You might
person,
shed a job. You might,
friend.
shed a friend. You might, and it's really okay. It's okay.
Especially if they're toxic.
Yeah, absolutely. If they're toxic, bye-bye, for sure. And then leave the past behind. Last quarter moon in Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. So yes, I feel like this is a good message for me too. Leave the past behind. Listen, you've been there, done that. You bought the t-shirt, you've got all the accoutrement, all the souvenirs. You don't take the important lessons and keep moving on. Keep moving on. And then this last one, new moon in Aquarius, open up to change. And Aquarius is an air sign. That's a mind. Open your mind up to change. And pay attention. Pay attention to where you're going. If you're going in a direction where you keep getting blocks or you keep experiencing something that's not going right, maybe you need to go back to the book and make sure that you're on the track that you're really meant to be on,
Sure.
So
yeah. So once you have a plan and you're kind of ready to go, the next step in the process is to stick with it.
Yeah.
Because even if you have the best plan and you know exactly where you want to go, something's going to happen. There could be a global pandemic. There could be who knows what,
not, but maybe,
something's going to come up, something small, something big that's going to get in your way, try to stop you, try to derail you. Your old life is going to kind of creep back in. Your old habits are going to kind of want to still retain a hold on you. And there's a lot of tools and strategies in here about how you can just stick with it, this new plan, this moving forward. Just like that says, get ready, embrace that change and hold on to it and stick with it, because it's not going to be easy to make those changes. Even small ones can require a lot of effort, a lot of perseverance. And at the end of the day, it's going to be so worth it.
Yeah.
So stick with it.
When you're operating from authenticity.
Right. I mean, once you've gone through this whole process and you have your plan and you're ready to go, don't let that one little minor bump in the road knock you off track.
Yeah. And so if you're just joining us, then even if you're watching later after the live is over, you can purchase Destiny's book if you're watching on Facebook. If you're on Jatango, you already know the ropes. You can just click on the little icon at the bottom that has her book listed, and it'll add it to your cart, and you go to your cart and you go ahead and you check out. At the end, if you want us to ship it to you, you click on shipping and it'll figure all that out for you. And then Destiny will get your information and she'll ship that right out to you, and she'll autograph the book for you, which is an added bonus. If you're going to be at the Halloween party on October 31st at CLE Urban Winery, which is Destiny's place that she owns the business, and I'm partnering with her to do a Seance in the Cellar event that evening, which is going to be so fun.
Super fun.
If you're going to be there and you would like to pick the book up there, then when you're checking out, make sure you click on local pickup, and we will get the information that it's a local pickup. We'll have it up at the bar at CLE Urban Winery on October 31st. If for some reason you can't make it and you need to arrange something a different day, you can come anytime. Yeah. And so if you're on Facebook and you're seeing this and you want to purchase Destiny's book, on the lower left-hand corner of this live, there's a little thing that looks like a little chain link. You click on that. It's going to take you to the Jatango site. You're going to create an account with your email, your password. It's going to take you into Jatango. You'll see the item that you're interested in. You'll add that to your cart. Make sure that you check out. Make sure that you click on either a local pickup if you're picking it up from the winery, or if you have it that you want it to be sent to you, click shipping, and the wonderful Jatango is going to figure it out all for you. It's amazing. And then we will get your information there. Also, while you're on Jatango, make sure you follow Come Home to Your Heart, because then you'll be notified when I go live, which is every Friday from 12:30 to 1:30 Eastern, doing readings and having special guests like Destiny. Interestingly and so fun, if you purchase anything on the site, on my Come Home to Your Heart site, you purchase anything between now and the Wednesday before Halloween, you'll be entered into a drawing to win either 2 free tickets to the Seance in the Cellar event, which is a Halloween event at CLE Urban Winery. And if you are not available to come to that, you can still enter and you will get a half hour, 30-minute free reading with me through Zoom, person to person, where you can ask me whatever question you want. So you can't lose.
Can't lose.
Yeah. So purchase anything on the Come Home to Your site, the Come Home to Your Heart site on Jatango between now and Wednesday. Wednesday, I will be announcing the winner. Probably pop on Jatango real fast for a live. I will also post it on my Facebook page. I will also contact the winner, so you will know if you won those 2 free tickets. And that's an $88 value.
Mhm.
So, you know,
And a super fun night out.
a super fun night out. Yeah. Where else are you going to go to get something this cool?
Yeah, it's trick or treat. Come
Yeah.
to the winery
Yeah.
and have fun with us.
You're going to get you're going to have a memorable evening. It's going to be a very memorable evening.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, make sure you dress up because Destiny has a great prize for the costume contest.
Bottle of wine, bottle of our great wine.
Yeah.
Choose which one.
Tell me tell the audience, I already know because I love everything that you have there. I've tried, I think maybe everything because we've done those little flags.
Mhm.
Everything is good. So talk a little bit
Well-
about the wines that you have.
I'll tell you a little bit about the business. So, oops,
Ooh, here's the reading.
it fell right at my feet.
Yeah, but it says, look at the world straight in the face, which you can do when you're being authentic. It says, don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Let the dreams be led by the dreams in your heart,
Okay.
which is very true. And this helps you figure out what those are. And this last one is 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. Explore, dream, discover.
Amen.
That is what we've been saying this whole
Amen.
time.
Yeah. So I grew up in Cleveland. Euclid is my hometown, right? And I joined the Navy right out of high school to get out of Euclid and see the world, get an education, served 20 years, as I mentioned, retired into the Washington, D.C. area, worked in the defense industry for 13 years. And when I turned 50, I was just over it. I decided to leave that world behind. I'd gotten divorced after a 26-year marriage. My kid was through college and launched, and I had this blank sheet of paper, and my why was just calling me towards freedom and independence, to stand on my own 2 feet, to do my own thing. So I left my big fancy job in DC. I left my life in DC and came home to Cleveland to open my own business. I'd always wanted a food or wine related business. I'd kind of been an amateur foodie all my life as I've lived and traveled all over the world in my career. And I looked at the market here in Cleveland, and I didn't want a restaurant because that's a red ocean of competition, lots of great food in Cleveland. But I love the brewery culture here because it's so connecting. You know, there's so many breweries around town, and they're just like havens of community. And I figured if it works with beer, why not wine? So I created this concept, this urban winery concept. The winery is built into a former 100-year-old auto repair garage right there on Lee Road. It's not your typical, it looks more like a tap room than a traditional farm winery does. I try to run it like it's a community center that makes wine. It really is a community third space. It's not home, it's not work, it's that third place you can come. And there's 3 tenets of the business. The first is good wine made fun, as Michelle mentioned. We make about 15 different kinds of wine right there on site with grape juice that we bring in mostly from the West Coast, California and Washington State. We do bring in some from New York as well. And but all the fermentation, blending, bottling, aging is all done on site. You can see it right behind glass. All of our tanks and equipment is right there for you to see. And we try to take the pretension out of wine. Wine can be so intimidating and pretentious and snooty, and you know, we just want to make it fun and accessible. So we have something for everybody. We have dry wines, we have sweeter wines, we have just wine slushies. We make wine hot chocolate. We do wine flights with little food bites. It just makes it fun and accessible, and that's what we're trying to do. We also have like beer and spirits and a lot of non-alcoholic options too, because we want there to be something for everybody. Everybody should be able to come and have a lovely drink with their friends and connect. So the second tenet of the business is to celebrate Cleveland. Cleveland is my hometown. I love it. No matter where I lived in the world, Cleveland was always home, and I'm so happy to be back home. So all the wines have names and labels that celebrate our neighbors, our neighborhoods, and our traditions. But also there's local graffiti art on the walls, and we have local musicians play there. And it's just a celebration of everything that's great about Cleveland. And I do that very purposefully. And then the third tenet is to drink wine and do good. I know that for my why, I need a connection to philanthropy and community service in my daily life. So I've built that into my business model. So I do a lot of philanthropy through the business. Not just hosting fundraisers or hosting groups or things like that, but also putting my money where my mouth is with large community partners like the Cleveland Food Bank. I do a ton of events and things for the Cleveland Food Bank. I donate all the wine to the Dobama Theater down the street from us on Lee Road. I have done that for the last 9 years. Graffiti Heart is another big community partner of ours. We've raised a ton of money over the years for scholarships for underprivileged kids, our scholarships, and I've commissioned murals through them multiple times there at the winery. So those community partnerships that enable me to provide that philanthropy into my community is really important. So those 3 tenets: good wine made fun that celebrates Cleveland and creates community. That's what the business is all about.
Yeah, and I can testify to that too, because we just recently had an event at your place for Everyday Boots Productions, which is a new movie production company here in Cleveland.
Yep.
It's all based in doing things strictly in Ohio. We're Cleveland natives, all of us that are involved in the workings of it. We've created a short that's shortly going to turn into a feature film. And Destiny hosted a celebration for us, like a viewing party for us. And we had so many people come. There were so many people.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was so much fun. If you're thinking about having an event, definitely check her out. She's great. She was a great hostess. And I think there might have been a little more people all at one time than we expected.
It was wonderful.
And she handled it amazingly well. Everybody loved the place. We had such a good time. We had so much fun. And we're super excited to do another event with you too, especially when the feature comes out. Right now, it's being entered into a lot of different film festivals around the country, and we've gotten into several, so it's super exciting. Awesome. Yeah, and again, celebrating Cleveland, because this is a Cleveland-based movie production company.
So. Yeah, this week alone on Sunday, I hosted a group called Windsong. It's a feminist choral group. They did a big fundraiser at the winery. They called it a cabaret, and it was Halloween costumes and singing, and it was so fun. On Tuesday night, I hosted a bunch of politicians from Cleveland Heights that, election day is coming up, and this was a platform for them to come and mix and mingle with the community so they could meet them and talk to them about their platforms and their programs. Last night, we had a big group of freshman parents from the university school that came and did a freshman parent mixer to get to know each other as their children are entering high school. So every night is something different. Every Wednesday night, we have a tango group that meets and dances at the winery starting at like 6:30. You could take a lesson for free and just dance with them every single Wednesday night. So there is always something fun going on our homepage. There's an events tab, CeliaUrbanWinery.com, and you can see all the events, live music. I'm doing a big clam bake on Saturday. This week it is sold out, but we are doing live music from 7 to 9. This Cajun band is coming in, local Cajun musicians. So there's always something fun, community-based going on at the winery. And we would love to host your event, so give me a call.
Yeah, I will say that I did a baby shower with you that was beautiful. And now we're talking about doing a wedding shower there. So if you're having a personal family event too, I mean, it was beautiful. Yeah, everybody had beautiful things to say.
We've had weddings there. Yeah. We've had remembrance ceremonies. We've had nice. Recommitments, bridal showers, graduation parties, birthday parties, you name it. We've had every party under the sun, and it's the perfect space to celebrate, to connect.
It is. And you don't even really need that much decor, because I'm crazy about making sure everything looks nice, with my 20-year interior design degree. And it's so great because her space is beautiful. Check it out. You could check it out online, or certainly come to Celia Urban Winery. We hope to see you on Halloween.
On Halloween.
Yes.
I'm on Halloween.
And, the Seance in the Cellar Halloween version, those tickets are available here on Jatango. So you can go ahead and purchase those here, and we will get the notification. You will not receive a paper ticket, but your name will be at the door. So we will know that you're coming, and it's going to just be so much fun. It's
doors at 7, and then the seance starts at 7:30, right?
Yeah. So doors at 7, seance at 7:30. we're just gonna, I'm super excited about this.
I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really fun. Don't forget to dress up. I mean, if you want to, but that's
We're
fine.
going to have a contest.
Yeah.
Bottle of wine is a steak.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I've tried her wine, and I've tried island wines before, and they're nice. They're on the sweeter side, but you have such a variety of things, especially like the peach Chardonnay.
We have these fruit infused wines that everybody
So
loves,
good.
especially our peach Chardonnay and our blackberry Merlot. Those are definitely favorites.
Those are two of my absolute favorites. I am not a sweet wine person. They have the essence of the fruit and they're not super sweet. They're
Right.
also
They're very
not really
smooth.
dry either. They're perfect.
Yeah.
So we're coming.
Balanced.
Yes. So definitely check it out. And I'm going to, well, I've never been here, but I know a lot of people that have been to the winery and they all have great things
Oh.
to say about, oh, thanks,
That's
Jess.
so great.
She
Thank
drove by
you.
yesterday. She said, I think what you've done with the winery really makes the neighborhood beautiful.
Aw,
Oh,
thanks.
so nice. CLE Urban Winery is located on Lee Road. What's the address there?
2180 Lee Road, just south of Cedar. So if you know where the Cedar Lee Theater is, it's just right across the street, basically.
Right in Cleveland Heights.
There's
There's free parking
a big parking garage across the street.
right across the street behind the buildings that are immediately across the street. You can walk over. It's free parking. It's a big garage, so there's no excuse. Okay, so thanks, Jesse.
Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so
guys.
much for that. And I'm going to draw another couple cards. I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for asking me. This is awesome.
Oh my gosh. I love working with you. See, that's what happens when you're your authentic self. Like,
We met and we just clicked,
Clicked.
and we've been doing so many fun things together over the years, and it's been a joy. You've been a joy.
yeah. Oh, same with you. Like, I can't imagine going anyplace else for my events because it's so much fun. And I just love you. Like,
I just love you too.
you're dear to my heart.
Yeah.
So
I
let me
agree.
draw 3 cards to send us off. Whatever it is you're scared of doing, do it.
Do it.
Do it. Come on. We have the tools to help you out here.
This will help you. This is a workbook. There's all kinds of great, wonderful tools in here to help you.
And this so resonates with everything that you've said, I feel, and the way that you have created this book and these businesses and created your life. Those courageous risks are life-giving. They help you grow, make you brave, and better than you think you are. So yes, I love that. That if there's one card in this deck that I feel is you, it's that one.
Courage is not the absence of fear. It's going ahead anyways with purpose.
Yeah. And this last one, the more we act on our dreams and our desires, the more fearless we become.
Amen.
And that's it. So keep acting on your dreams. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Destiny, for joining me. Oh, love you. I love you too. And I'm excited for you guys to see this live, whether you're live with us or not, or you see it later. These messages are for you. You check out the book, check out the event, check out CLE Urban Winery, check out Jatango because they are helping us bring this to you in this way. And we love them. They're so helpful. They've been so helpful to me today. And I look forward to seeing you
On Halloween.
next Friday on Halloween. I'll be doing a live here from 12:30 to 1:30. And there's some special, exciting things that will be happening there.
Good.
And then I hope to see you in person at CLE Urban Winery at 7 o'clock. Okay, thanks, guys. I'm going to get up to end this.
Bye.